Ever had one of those moments where you feel like your life is spiraling out of control? Or maybe it's not your life, maybe it's your energy or your mental well-being. This class is for you. We're going to talk about some ways that we can prevent that and ways that we can target those spirals when they do occur. Welcome to Restorative Yoga. My name is Sandra, and I would love for you to take a comfortable seat and close your eyes. And as you just pause to be present for a moment, I want you to scan through the body, noticing what you might notice. And that could be physically, it could be energetically, it could be mentally. And then as you bring your focus to your breath, start to slowly deepen the breath. Be present to how that feels as the chest expands. Maybe you feel the breath in the abdomen expanding. And when you get to your next inhale, let's slowly float the arms up. And then exhale them right back down. So I want you to do that a couple more times at your own pace. Beginning to lengthen out the breath. And the next time the arms are on their way up, bring the palms together and release them to your heart, Anjali Mudra. When you're ready, pause here to set your intention for your practice. It might be an intention for the day. It might be an intention for the week. Could be all three, right? When you're ready, go ahead and release the backs of your hands to your knees. Sit up nice and tall and keep the eyes closed. And so I've already asked you to scan through the body. I gave you options of the definition of body, right? Physical, mental, spiritual, energy, just so that you can pause to notice how you're feeling. And so this theme is going to be all about, you might say, preventative self-care. What does that mean? We all have those moments where we feel like maybe our world or our internal world is spiraling out of control, right? And it could be with, there's a myriad of things that we could be talking about. We could be spiraling out of control with things like loss or grief. It could be just with stress. We could be spiraling out of control with pent-up emotion. So whatever it is that you're thinking of is totally appropriate and will fall under this topic that I want to kind of break into different pathways as we move through our sequence on the mat, so we can figure out how do we prevent those spirals and what can we do when all of a sudden they're right before us. All right, give me a deep inhale, hold the breath. When you're ready, cleansing exhale. And then inhale, take the arms all the way up. Palms together, exhale back to the heart. As you inhale, feel the sit bones and the bottom part of the legs push into the earth so you can elevate. Draw the stomach in a little bit. And when you get to that exhale, subtle twist to the right. Maybe the head can turn to look over the right shoulder. Still breathing, right? Not holding the breath on the poses we're holding. And when you get to an exhale, come back to center. Inhale here again, lengthen. Exhale, take that twist to the left. And when you're ready, gently release back to center and release the backs of the hands. Close your eyes. Empty out the lungs. Slow, deep inhale. Hold the breath. Cleansing exhale. Inhale, take both arms up. Bring the palms together, release them to the heart. Inhale, find your length. Exhale, take that twist to the right. Now hold it here, but I want you to drop the left hand to the right knee and the right hand to the space behind you, using that as leverage to find more length and accentuate the twist. Deep breathing. When you get to an exhale, gently unravel, come back to center. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, find your length. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, a little more twist. And then again, when you get to an exhale, float back to center. Inhale the arms up and release them back home to your heart, closing your eyes. So from here, release the arms. Take the hands behind you. Let's get the feet flat on the mat, knees bent. You can turn the hands whichever way you want to. And then I'm going to give my left leg a little bit more space here. So I'm going to walk that foot away from me so that that right ankle can get right up on top. So we're looking for our seated pigeon. Yes, I'm aware we haven't stretched a darn thing yet. So I need you to practice ahimsa, which is non-harming, and create variations for yourself. So if that left leg needs to move further away, that's what it needs to do. Yeah. All right. Use the earth to push the hands into the ground to find your length and deepen the breath. So we're looking for that gentle stretch somewhere in the right hip area. When you feel it, breathe into it. If it starts to loosen up and dissipate, well, take the pose a little tighter. And then the other thing I just want to point out is watch that right knee. We don't really want it in towards us. We want it pushed back so it's in a straight line there, running parallel in front of you with the ankle. And if the leg is stuck here and there's no way that hip is opening, that means the left leg needs to be out farther. Yeah? Okay. Give me a couple more breaths here. And when you're ready, we're going to take that left leg, and you can bend into the elbows if you need to. Stretch that leg out. Keep the right ankle where it is. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Both feet are flexed. Just pausing here. Close your eyes so you can feel this. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. If you want your strap, you can use it to lasso the left foot. We're going to sit up tall and slowly come forward an inch or two. Again, being completely cognizant of the fact that we haven't stretched out pretty much anything. So right when you feel the stretch, I want you to hold right there. Keep your focus on the breath. When you feel the hamstrings start to loosen up, you can come down just a tad further. And then deep inhale. Exhale. Come back to where we started. Stretch out that right leg. Walk it out. All right. Same thing other side. Lean back into the hands. Bend the knees. Outer left ankle up on that right thigh. Find your starting point. The starting point again is where you feel the stretch in the left hip, but the stretch is good and okay. And then close your eyes. Again, watch the left knee. If it's coming in towards you, you need some more space between you and that right thigh. And again, as you pay attention to what you're feeling, you can tighten up this pose a little bit if the stretch starts to loosen up. From here, we're going to stretch out that right leg, keep the left leg where it is, sit up tall, flex both feet. You can use your strap again if you want to catch that right foot. Inhale. Exhale, we're just coming forward a couple inches. Got to give the right leg its chance to loosen up. And then make your way back up. Stretch out that left leg, shake the legs out. Grab your blanket if you have one. And let's just put it right underneath the knees. Get some good volume, will you? For compassion and self-care that we're going to be talking about. Flex the feet, sit up tall, and slowly pour the ribs over the thighs. Wherever you're at in this fold, I want you to focus on self-love. I want you to focus on the heart space or protecting the heart energy. And when you're ready to make your way back up, do so. If you have a strap, bring it along with you. Perfect. Take that blanket out from under the knees, bring it around behind you for a pillow. If you don't have a strap, don't worry about it. And then let's slowly lay back. Oh yeah, that's good. Hug the knees into the heart and rock it out. So I am kind of curious. I would ask if we were in person for your answers, but I'm kind of curious what each of our definitions are of kind of going into a spiral. What does that feel like? What does that mean to you?
I would say that one of the most common characteristics that I think we would all say is that something negative is at the core of that spiral. It could be an experience, it could be a memory, it could be a feeling, whatever it is, there's something negative at the foundation of that spiral, right? And then what that leads to, and I'll tell you in a second, is you set that left foot down on the mat, stretch the right leg up to the ceiling, hands behind the thigh, and here's where you'd use your strap if you want to. What that negative event leads to then is obviously negative emotions, but then there's a thought pattern that we typically get stuck in where we keep thinking about how we got here, why we're here, the negative event that occurred. And when we get stuck there, what tends to happen is we have maladaptive behaviors, yet we still find ourselves kind of in that loop heading downward, right? Okay, I want you to pause here. Lengthen through the right leg as though the sole of the right foot were holding up your ceiling. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale, pull that right leg in just a little closer. Hold it right there. And so, what if we don't know what set us off? So, coming out of the holidays, I feel pretty comfortable saying that the holidays are a pretty big trigger for a lot of people. While we think in their definition that holidays should be exciting and happy, oftentimes there's a lot of memory and emotion attached to them. So holidays are a trigger, but what else? What if you don't know? All right, draw that leg in just a tad closer. Big inhale. Exhale, bend the knee. Set that foot down, switch to the other leg. So this is where I'm going to suggest journaling, because if we start to keep track of the days where we're not energetically feeling so great, and we're writing down what happened, we start to create this list that, I don't know, might hold some clues to the next time. We can look back and go, wait a minute, that happened on that day and it's happening again. Maybe that's one of my triggers. Maybe that is one of the things that kind of sets off my energy. So I want you to think about journaling kind of as, I don't know, writing your own mystery book, perhaps, filled with clues that you aren't even aware of. Inhale, lengthen through that leg. Exhale, pull it in. Keep breathing. Draw the leg in just a bit closer. Big inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, set the foot down. Widen the feet out to the width of the mat. Now, here's where you might want a prop on the left side of you. Ooh, my blocks are behind me. We're just going to drop both knees to the left, and if you want a prop to catch either leg, then have something there. It might not even be the bottom leg. Maybe that leg's okay making it to the earth, but the other knee hanging in space isn't happy. So you decide what works for you and close your eyes. So the point of journaling in this scenario would be to help you pay attention to things you might have missed. How do we know? Let me rephrase that question. Heading into a spiral, do you suppose there might be warning signs that, again, we didn't see coming? And again, the journal is going to catch these things, hopefully. But thinking back, what do you notice changes within you? So it could be things like, I want to sleep a lot. I want to avoid and cancel social gatherings. My appetite has changed. I'm really irritable. I notice that I use a lot of negative self-chatter when I'm about to
I don't know, feel the spiral. I use the word spiral here because I think it could mean a variety of things to each one of us. And so fill that in as you see fit. Stress for sure could be a trigger. And so I want you to think about those things so you can catch them when they pop up, because what we're really focusing on in this topic is, what do we do about that? How are we going to stop ourselves from going downward and reverse that so we're coming back up into our hopefully balanced and content space? Okay, I want you to inhale, bring the knees back up, move your prop to the other side, drop the knees to the right. So I was thinking about this, it made me recall a yoga theme I taught about a zillion years ago, if that's a number, on headaches. And I remember suggesting, go to like Michael's or something, get a really decorative, cool looking box, you know, well, what I grabbed for myself are one of those boxes that looks like a book and it's got this beautiful peacock on the top. I thought at the time that it called me. Anyway, some type of box that calls to you. And in that class, I said, well, here, let's fill it with things that might help a headache, right? So we filled it with things like amethyst and lavender scented oils or dried lavender, and the list went on and on. But I'm thinking for spiral, we could also build our own kind of go-to kit with things in it that make us smile. So it could be something you have lying around the house that when you see it, it brings up this great memory, you smile, but you don't pay attention to it that much. So it might be appropriate to allow it to be in this box to remind you on the days where you're not feeling so thrilled that that memory still exists, right? And then you could put in things that you like the smell of. So maybe a tea light candle or essential oils, dried flowers. What about certain candies? I like this idea because if you pop a lemon drop into your mouth, go ahead and taste that right now. You have to be present. And these downward spirals often are not, they feel like they're in the present. However, those thoughts that we get stuck with, that loop, those are not in the present. They're usually in the past. So I kind of like tossing in maybe some cinnamon candies or peppermint, something that has a strong taste that makes you go, okay, I am here right now. What about little notes to yourself? Reminders, I've been here before, this is temporary, maybe some healing crystals. So these are just suggestions, but I like this idea of a go-to kit. And so think about what you would want to put in there. And while you're thinking of that, I want you to go ahead and bring the knees back up to center, set your prop aside. And then just stretch out the legs here for a moment, hands resting on the abdomen to feel the breath. Now, go ahead, picture your go-to kit. What's in it? So again, if we were in person, I'd love to hear your ideas. What I added to mine in my mind was tea bags and pictures. I have a little teeny statue of Ganesh. And then I think I would write in there Gayatri mantra to remind myself to go listen to a chant, because that one always lifts my spirits. All right, give me a deep breath in. Big exhale. When you're ready, roll to a side in a fetal position. and then gently push your way up. All right, we're coming to table, hands and knees. Find your cat-cow when you're ready. No hurry to get here. So one of the other things, besides the go-to kit, that would really be helpful is creating a list of activities that you enjoy. Now, you might be thinking, why on earth do I need a list of the activities I enjoy? Because I know what I enjoy, and I'll just conjure up that list when the time comes. That is so not going to happen, because those negative thought loops are going to keep you from getting there. And even if you do remember some of the things you like to do, you're going to be unmotivated to do them. So if they're on a piece of paper, kind of like a to-do list, you are more inclined to talk yourself into doing some of those. And they're going to be really key and important to going back up the spiral. All right, find a neutral spine, tuck the toes. Let's find downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Walk it out. Hips, remember, up and back. Ears between the upper arms, fingers are spread wide. Your shoulders are not over your wrists. Give me a deep breath in. As you exhale, let's step that right foot forward for a nice lunge. Let's keep that back leg lifted for a moment. Rock this out. And then you can take that list you made, things that you know you enjoy, and put that in your go-to kit. And what we're going to add on next, I guess you could write it down for your kit too, but working on positive self-talk. All right, when you're ready, set that back knee down, untuck the back toes. Option A, stay right here. Option B, hands to the front thigh. Option C, arms all the way up. Deepen the breath. All right, if the hands are up, let's bring them back down to the earth. Pull the hips back right over that supporting knee. Come to the heel of the right foot. And then left hip forward, right hip back. Play with the stretch here, gently, up and down with the breath. When you're ready, hips are coming back forward. Plant the hands, tuck the back toes, lift that leg. Slowly, downward facing dog. When you get to your next exhale, left foot is stepping forward. We're keeping the back knee lifted. Rock it out in your lunge. So far, I don't think I've told you anything you don't know. We all know when we get into a funk or we're depressed, we have the skills to pull ourselves out. We generally don't go there. We don't want to, we're unmotivated, we can't. And so having these things written down and nearby, I think is a really good idea to just spur us on and maybe make that episode a little bit shorter. Set the back knee down, untuck the toes. Option A is right here with the hands on the earth. Option B, hands on the thighs. Option C, reach for the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Pull the hips back. Come on to the heel of that left foot. And then really don't forget, this is the important part. Right hip forward, left hip back. You're going to feel that for sure. And then slowly leaning into that stretch with the breath. When you're ready, hips are coming forward again, plant the hands. This time, we're not going to down dog. I just want you to get this left knee back next to the right one, in table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then walk the hands back so you can sit on the heels for a moment. We're looking for a prop. So if you have a bolster, grab that, put it out in front of you, about the middle of your mat, horizontally across. If you don't, a blanket would be fabulous, or a pillow. I wouldn't use the blocks. They're not going to feel super great here. And then come back to table. We're just going to set the hips down on that bolster. And come all the way down. So a supported reverse Shavasana. Relax the legs. You can do whatever you want with the arms. Just close your eyes. All right. So we've come up with this list of things that are go-to activities that we like. Make sure they're about self-care. So put some things on there that maybe you don't normally do, like go get that massage or bubble bath, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's a cold shower. Maybe it's I'm going to go get ice cream and I'm having 2 scoops instead of 1. Whatever it is, write these things down. And then here's the next part. And, maybe you write yourself a note about this too and just put it in the box, but pay attention to the thoughts that you have when you're in that downward spiral or that temporary space that isn't so enjoyable. What are you saying to yourself? So it might be things like, everybody's out to get me. Why is this happening to me? I must suck. I can't even think right now, but whatever your thoughts are, write them down. And this is why it's important to take those thoughts and flip them around. So instead of why is this happening to me, it's a challenge to look at life as happening for me. And that thought, maybe I suck. Well, no, I don't. But maybe that's how I feel right now. I feel like life isn't great, but I know this to be temporary. So we reframe the thoughts to remind ourselves of the positive side. And turn your head to the other side if you have it turned in one direction. So I think here's where a challenge is going to come up. I think, or I've had it expressed to me often, that positive affirmations don't necessarily feel truthful. So if you're feeling really awful and unhappy, to sit there and say, I should feel happy, or today's great, might feel like you're lying to yourself. I'm okay with neutral statements. I feel this way today, but I remember yesterday I felt this way. Or I look forward to tomorrow, maybe feeling differently tomorrow. I am grateful for. So you can make your statements so that they're either neutral or truthful. Yeah, I am grateful for the time I give myself on my yoga mat, even when I don't feel like being here. Write these things out in advance. I really do suggest writing some of this stuff down ahead of time. Now, obviously, those negative thoughts, you might not be able to pull them out yet. You might need to be in that space to identify them, but Have some of these positive thoughts already written down so we can target them. All right, give me a deep inhale. Big exhale. Feel the body just settling into the earth. You ready? All right, let's bring the head to center, if it's not already. Slide the hands back so they're in front of the bolster. And then lengthen, so the hands are pushing towards my bolster so I can feel my heart slide forward. And then I'm just gonna lift a little bit. So you can come maybe an inch off the mat if it's okay with your back. You can take Cobra wherever you want it to be. Just make sure that the shoulders aren't holding up the head, right? They're down and back, neck is long. Elbows have a soft bend in them. Deep breath in wherever you're at. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, traction forward, lift. This time as you exhale, take it to child's pose. When you're ready, go ahead and walk your way back. So you're sitting back on the heels again. Inhale, just take the arms straight up. Let the gaze follow the hands. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms to the ceiling. Now try to soften the shoulders. See if you can bring the arms back so that the ears are right between the upper arms without creating a huge arch in the low back. So draw the stomach in. And then the other thing I want you to look at is, and you might not be able to do this, that's okay, but watch where the placement of the hands. Can you get the hands parallel to the ceiling? They might be tipping forward, that's okay. I just want you to be aware of this because maybe you are able to open up. You just weren't realizing that the hands weren't doing that. All right, give me a deep inhale. Exhale, keep the hands interlaced, bring them behind the head. Heart forward, lean back, you can arch here. Exhale, elbows come forward, round this out. Inhale, open it up. If you hate sitting like this, change it up. Exhale. One more. Release the arms. Draw the shoulders up. Massage out the back of the neck. And then take them all the way back and down. All right, I don't care if you leave your bolster in front of you. I don't think it's going to get in your way. So come back to table. Take the left leg, stretch it out behind you. And then let's open up that hip. And here, I want you just to kind of gauge how balanced you feel on the right shin. If not so much, kick that foot out further behind you. And then if you want to, let's take that left arm up and get a good stretch here. Inhale, reach for the ceiling. Exhale the arm overhead, slowly. Inhale for the ceiling. Exhale overhead. Inhale for the ceiling. Exhale back to the earth. Come back to table, other side. So stretch out the right leg, then open up the hip. You can stay here if you want. And then if you want to, take the right arm up. And again, if you feel like you're not balanced, kick the bottom foot out behind you. Big inhale. Exhale, arm overhead. Inhale up. Exhale overhead. Last one, inhale the arm up. Exhale to the earth. Back to table. Find your cow. Take it to cat. And then here, as you come back to a neutral spine, one ankle over the other so that you can sit all the way back on your mat. I'm going to keep the bolster here. I'm going to bring the legs into cobbler up on top of that bolster. So you decide how close or far away the bolster is from you. And one way you're going to gauge that is if your back is rounded out or not. If the back is rounded out, move the bolster away so that you can find your length. And then close your eyes. So a little bit of tension on those feet or wherever you're hanging on to, pull them in. See if you can energetically push the back of the leg down towards the ground or to the bolster. Deepen the breath. Of course, you can change this up any way you need to. If you do not like the legs being up on a prop, move the prop, right? Do cobbler right on the mat. And then we'll either stay here, option A, or slowly round your way over the feet into a fold. On your next inhale, gently come back up. I'm going to stretch out my legs right over the bolster. So again, if you weren't using one, just slide something underneath the knees if you have something nearby. Flex the feet and just pour yourself down over the thighs into another fold. All right, can you deep breath in? Cleansing exhale. Gently make your way back up. 2 blocks in your bolster. And you put the blocks
out by my feet. They're at their medium height. They're just simply there to hold up my bolster. And then when you're ready, calves up on top, gently lay back down. Closing your eyes, feeling the ground beneath your back, beneath your hips, back of the head, back of the arms. So we were talking about how do you reframe some of these negative thoughts into positive affirmations when you don't believe what you're saying. And you know what? One idea is write them down and pretend you're reframing it for a friend, because I guarantee that's going to be a lot easier. But I wanted to share this poem with you, and hopefully it gives you an idea as to why the way we word things is so important. So this is a poem by Abdullah Shoaib, and it's called Pretty Ugly. The word pretty is written upside down. So here's how the poem reads. I'm very ugly, so don't try to convince me that I'm a very beautiful person. Because at the end of the day, I hate myself in every single way. And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying there is beauty inside of me that matters. So rest assured, I will remind myself that I am a worthless, terrible person, and nothing you say will make me believe I still deserve love. Because no matter what, I am not good enough to be loved, and I'm in no position to believe that beauty does exist within me. Because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think, am I as ugly as people say? Now, I'm guessing you're thinking right now, why on earth would I read you that? Because here's the brilliant part of the reframe. This poem is meant to be read backwards. So hear it now. Bottom line going to the top. Am I as ugly as people say? Because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think beauty does exist within me. And I'm in no position to believe that I'm not good enough to be loved, because no matter what, I still deserve love. And nothing you say will make me believe that I am a worthless, terrible person. So rest assured, I will remind myself there is beauty inside of me that matters. And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying I hate myself in every single way, because at the end of the day, I'm a very beautiful person. So don't try to convince me that I'm very ugly. Your words can be flipped around. It might take a little practice, but they can be. And so I think with some of the steps that we talked about in preparing for our mood swings, we can find a way to use our skills that I know we have. We have the meditation, we have the deep breathing, we have the quick jump on the yoga mat and just do cat-cow. But we need those reminders to use the skills so that, I don't know, those spirals seem less daunting, definitely temporary, and not as long lasting. All right, give me a deep breath in and hold it. Huge exhale. Hug the knees into the heart. Rock it out if you want to. And interlace my fingers. Take the hands behind the head. Elbows are wide. And slowly drop the knees to the left. If you need to, let the knees back away from you a bit first. Either way, this is a controlled movement, so don't just fall over to the side. The right shoulder is going to stay down. Breathe into the twist. And then let me say this first. Before you bring the knees back up, I really need you to practice the himsa and think about, can I pull both legs together slowly using the core? And if the answer is no, that is a fair answer, in which case, I want you to bring the top leg first and then the bottom leg, especially if you have low back issues. And then when you're ready, knees are going to the right, keep it controlled, left shoulder stays down. And then again, using a controlled movement, think about how it would be best for you to pull the knees back up. Hug them into the heart. Let's lift the head and shoulders too, get in a tight ball. And then you still have your bolster out by your feet. If you want to come into Shavasana with the legs up on top, that's fine. If there is a different way you'd rather set up your props for Shavasana, go ahead and do that. Make sure the entire body is content, balanced, comfortable. And then one more conscious deep inhale. As you exhale, choose to let go. You'll hear my voice on the other side of Shavasana.
want you to fill in this sentence. Today, I am proud of myself for ... Own that, feel it, deepen the breath. Allow some movement back into the hands and the feet. And then if you want to, go ahead and roll to a side in a fetal position. Slowly make your way back up. Deep inhale through the nose. Loud cleansing exhale. And then inhale both arms up. Bring the palms together and exhale them back home to your heart and prayer pose. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.